Welcome back. I'm Pratap here. Today is 20 January 2025. In this video, I'm going to generate different supply demand zone reports useful to the premium subscribers. Even before that, all of you please understand we are providing complete free training on supply demand zone price action. You might be knowing the cost of the training is over 8,000 US dollars, but we are providing complete free training to promote our NeoStock software. So you can access all the training lessons at our NeoStock homepage. Click on the tab Posts. Some of you might be seeing the tab Community. Click on the tab. You get access to this post having about our free training course. And look into this link. The YouTube playlist link in this post will take you to all the training lessons. Just click on the link. Now we are into supply demand zone price action course playlist. Here you have all the training lessons are available. You just need to start your training from lesson 1.1. Just scroll down to the bottom of the page. Here, starting from lesson 1.1, all the video lessons are placed in an order. So please go through all these lessons one by one and strengthen our skills related to supply demand zone price action. I have also provided the link to our Telegram channel in this video description. So please join at our Telegram channel. It will be helpful to you. Each time we release a new video or any other important updates, we will be providing at our Telegram channel. Now let's get into the report generation with the help of NeoStock Software Supply Demand Zone Top-Down Analysis Strategy Builder. So we are going to generate different reports. First we will identify stocks near demand and supply zones and also price closed inside the demand or supply zones until the daily time frame. Stocks near demand and supply zones until the 5 minutes time frame. And also we will identify daily and 75 minutes high liquidity zones. Later we will generate bullish and bearish trade setups for monthly, weekly and daily income trades. And finally, end of the report, we will generate stop buffers based on the daily ATR. Okay, now for yearly time frame, price closed inside the yearly demand zone, no stocks are available. This is stocks near the demand zone, sorry. Price closed inside the yearly demand zone. We got 3 stocks. I'm giving you only few seconds time to watch the report. So I request you pause the video, study the report, and then you can proceed to the next reports. In case if you don't know how to understand this report, I request you complete our training lesson 21.1. In that 21.1 video, I have explained each and every column, their values, abbreviations in detail. Okay, next report, yearly time frame. Price closed inside the yearly supply zone. We don't have any stocks. Next time frame is half yearly. Stocks near half yearly demand zone. 1 stock is filtered. Next, half yearly time frame. Stocks near half yearly supply zone. 1 stock is filtered. Next, half yearly time frame. Price closed inside the half yearly demand zone. We got 1 stock. Sorry, we made a mistake. It's near the demand zone. We have to look for inside the demand zone. So we got 6 stocks. Currently price closed in these 6 yearly half yearly demand zones. Next, half yearly time frame. Price closed inside half yearly supply zone. We got 2 stocks. Next time frame is quarterly. Stocks near quarterly demand zone. No stocks are available. For quarterly time frame, stocks near quarterly supply zone. 4 stocks are filtered. Next, quarterly time frame. Price closed inside the quarterly demand zone. We got 27 stocks, and now you are seeing first 21 stocks in the list. I am scrolling the list down. So total 27 stocks are filtered. You can further filter this list based on some high probability parameters like EMA Confluence. So let me add EMA Confluence to quarterly demand zones. So in the EMA Confluence filter at quarterly time frame, I am adding the filter quarterly demand zone having quarterly EMA Confluence. And a trend on quarterly time frame should not be sideways. It can be up or down. Let's filter. We got 13 stocks. These 13 quarterly demand zones are having quarterly EMA Confluence. Okay, next, quarterly time frame. Price closed inside quarterly supply zone. We got 61 stocks. Price closed inside. Again a mistake. This is a daily time frame. A lot of mistakes we are making today. I am making. So quarterly time frame, price closed inside quarterly supply zone. 5 stocks are filtered. Currently price closed inside these 5 quarterly supply zones. Let's check if any of these quarterly supply zones are having quarterly EMA Confluence. In the EMA Confluence at quarterly time frame, quarterly supply zone having quarterly EMA Confluence, and trend on quarterly time frame should not be sideways. Let's filter. We got all the 4 stocks are having quarterly supply zone having quarterly EMA Confluence. Okay, the next time frame is monthly. Stocks near monthly demand zone. We got 6 stocks. Next, monthly time frame. Stocks near monthly supply zone. Got 7 stocks. Next, monthly time frame. Price closed inside the monthly demand zone. We got 43 stocks. And the first 21 stocks you are seeing in this list, in this report. I am scrolling the list down. So total 43 stocks are filtered where price closed inside the monthly demand zone. We can further filter this list based on the monthly demand zones having monthly EMA Confluence. Let me add the filter. The EMA Confluence, monthly time frame, monthly demand zone having monthly EMA Confluence. And the trend should not be sideways on monthly time frame. So I'm selecting up or down trends. Now the list is come down to 22 stocks. Now you are seeing first 21 stocks in the list. I am scrolling the list down. So total 22 stocks. And all these monthly demand zones are having monthly EMA Confluence and the current price closed inside the monthly demand zone. Okay, this is about monthly time frame. Price closed inside the monthly demand zone. So next, monthly time frame. Price closed inside monthly supply zone. We got 11 stocks. Out of these 11, how many monthly supply zones are having monthly EMA Confluence? Let's verify. In the EMA filter, I am adding the filter. At monthly time frame, monthly supply zone having monthly EMA Confluence. and the trend at monthly time frame should not be sideways. It can be up or down. Let's filter. We got 5 stocks. These 5 monthly supply zones are having monthly EMA confluence, and current price closed inside the monthly supply zone. Okay, this is about monthly time frame. Next time frame is weekly. Stocks near weekly demand zone. We got 11 stocks. Next weekly time frame, stocks near weekly supply zone. We got 23 stocks. So first 15 stocks in the list. I am scrolling the list down. So total 23 stocks are filtered. Because list is big, if you want further reduce, you can reduce based on the EMA confluence. Simple. You can add the filter in the EMA confluence at monthly time frame, monthly supply zone having monthly EMA confluence, and the trend at monthly time frame should not be sideways. Now let's filter. We got 2 stocks. This is how you can identify high probability supply zones on monthly time frame based on monthly EMA confluence. Okay, next monthly time frame, price closed inside the monthly demand zone. We got 43 stocks. So first 21 stocks in the list. I'm scrolling the list down. So total 43 stocks are filtered where price closed inside the monthly demand zone. Okay, out of these 43, how many are having a ITF demand zone confluence? Sorry, how many are having EMA confluence? In the EMA confluence at monthly time frame, monthly demand zone having monthly EMA confluence, and the trend at the monthly time frame should not be sideways. It can be up or down. Now the list is come down to 22. First 21 stocks in the list. So total 22 stocks. Did I made any mistake? I think monthly zones we already generated, right? Anyway, in case if not, let me quickly for next monthly time frame. Price closed inside the monthly supply zone. We got 11 stocks. Okay, let's verify how many of these zones are having a monthly EMA confluence. Monthly supply zone having monthly EMA confluence, and the trend and monthly time frame should not be sideways. We got 5 stocks. Okay, next time frame is 5 minutes. Sorry, next time frame is weekly. Something happened today, a lot of mistakes I'm making. Maybe I'm tired too much. Okay, stocks near weekly demand zone. We got 11 stocks. Next weekly time frame, stocks near weekly supply zone. We got 23 stocks. First 15 stocks. Let me scroll the list down. 23 stocks are filtered. I think up to here we generated earlier. I repeated again. I went to monthly and again I came here. Sorry for the mistake. But anyway, next weekly time frame. Price closed inside the weekly demand zone. Total how many? We got 65 stocks. For the reference purpose, let me scroll the list down. So total 65. So we need to identify high probability based on EMA confluence. Let's filter further. Out of 65, how many we will get? So in the EMA confluence at a weekly time frame, weekly supply zone having weekly demand zone, having weekly EMA, because we are inside the weekly demand zone. Weekly demand zones having weekly EMA confluence, and the trend on weekly time frame should not be sideways. So with the up or down trend, we got 18 stocks. So first 17 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. So total 18 stocks are filtered. Currently, all these 18 demand zones are having weekly EMA confluence. Excuse me. Okay, next weekly time frame. Price closed inside the weekly supply zone. We got only 13 stocks. Out of these 13, how many weekly supply zones are having weekly EMA confluence? Let's verify. In the EMA confluence, weekly time frame, weekly supply zone with weekly EMA confluence, trend on weekly should not be sideways. So let's filter. We got 7 stocks. These 7 weekly supply zones are having weekly EMA confluence, and also current price closed inside the weekly supply zone. Okay, next time frame is the daily. Entry time frame daily. Let us find the stocks near daily demand zone. We got 6 stocks. Let us identify high liquidity zones from this list. We don't have any high liquidity daily demand zones from this list. Okay, next, daily time frame. Let us find the stocks near daily supply zone. We got 7 stocks. Let us identify high liquidity daily supply zones from this list. Divis Lab is having a high liquidity zone. That's it. We have only one high liquidity daily supply zone from this list. Okay, next, daily time frame. Let us find the stocks price closed inside the daily demand zone. We got 29 stocks. So first 15 stocks in the list. I am scrolling the list down. So these 29 stocks are filtered. Price closed inside the daily demand zone. Out of these 29, how many of these daily demand zones are having daily EMA confluence? Let us verify. In the EMA confluence, daily time frame, setting the filter, daily demand zone having daily EMA confluence. And the trend on the daily time frame should not be sideways. It can be up or down. Let's filter. Now the list is come down to 16. From 29, the list is come down to 6. And these 6 daily demand zones are having daily EMA confluence, and current price closed inside these daily demand zone. Okay, this is about price closed inside daily demand zone. Next, for daily time frame, price closed inside the daily supply zone. We got a big list. 61 stocks are filtered, and the first 15 stocks in the list. Nifty 50 is closed inside high liquidity daily supply zone. BANKNIFTY closed in the supply zone. Nifty Financial Services closed in the supply zone. Okay, I'm scrolling the list down for the reference purpose. So total 61 stocks are filtered. We can further filter this list based on the EMA Confluence. Let's verify how many daily supply zones are having daily EMA Confluence. In the EMA Confluence parameter at daily time frame, I am setting the filter daily supply zone having daily EMA Confluence, and the trend on the daily time frame should not be sideways. It can be up or down. Let's filter. Now the list is come down to 25 stocks. So first 15 stocks in the list. I am scrolling the list down. So total 25 stocks are filtered. So this is about the daily time frame. The next time frame is 125 minutes. Stocks near 125 minutes demand zone. We got 16 stocks. So first 15 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. So total 16. Okay, next 125 minutes time frame. Stocks near 125 minutes supply zone. We got 18 stocks. So first 15 stocks in the list. I am scrolling the list down. So total 18 stocks are filtered. Okay, next time frame is 75 minutes. Entry time frame 75 minutes. Let us find the stocks near 75 minutes demand zone. So we got 18 stocks. So first 15 stocks. Let us identify high liquidity 75 minutes demand zones from this list. Coromandel is having a high liquidity 75 minute zone. Already tested 7 times and 14 rejections. And ICICI Bank is having a high liquidity zone, but it is a pierced zone. Pierced zone can't be used. So it's not a valid stock. So far we have only one stock, that is Coromandel. This is a pierced zone. Anybody wants to use pierced strategy, you can use pierced zone strategy on this stock. Kalyani Jewelries. KPIT Technologies. Prestige. So total 4 high liquidity 75 minutes demand zones from this list. Okay, next 75 minutes time frame. Stocks near 75 minutes supply zone. We got 9 stocks. Let us identify high liquidity supply zones from this list. Bata India, IRFC, L&T, that's it. We have 3 high liquidity 75 minutes supply zones from this list. Okay, this is about 75 minutes time frame. Next time frame is 25 minutes. Stocks near 25 minutes demand zone. We have 11 stocks. Next 25 minutes time frame. Stocks near 25 minutes supply zone. We got 7 stocks. Next time frame is 15 minutes. Stocks near 15 minutes demand zone. We got 6 stocks. Let's verify how many of these stocks are having ITF demand zone confluence. That is a 15 minutes demand zone confluence with 75 minutes demand zone. I am enabling the filter. We got only one stock and it is a pierced zone, so it is not useful. Okay, next for 15 minutes time frame, stocks near 15 minutes supply zone, we got 6 stocks. Let's verify how many of these stocks are having ITF supply zone confluence. That is 15 minutes with 75 minutes supply zone confluence, enabling the filter. So with this filter, we got 3 stocks. So these are 3 15-minute supply zones are part of the 75-minute supply zone. Okay, next time frame is the 5 minutes. Stocks near 5 minutes demand zone. We got 6 stocks. Let's verify the ITF demand zone confluence. That is 5 minutes demand zone with 15 minutes demand zone confluence. I'm enabling that filter. We got 2 stocks. These two 5 minutes demand zones are part of the 15 minutes demand zone. That means overlapped. Zone confluence means overlap. Okay, next for 5 minutes time frame, stocks near 5 minutes supply zone, we got 10 stocks. Let's verify how many of these stocks are having ITF supply zone confluence. So in the 5 minute supply zone with 15 minute supply zone confluence, I'm enabling the filter. We got 6 stocks. In these 6, the third one is the pierced zone. We need not use it. Remaining might be useful to you. So these 5 minute supply zones are part of the 15 minute supply zone. So this is about stocks near demand and supply zones. Also identified NIFTY and BANKNIFTY. Daily and 75 minutes high liquidity zones. Now let us generate NIFTY and BANKNIFTY supply demand zone chain. Let's start with the NIFTY generating monthly supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Always look into the zone column to find the high liquidity zones. Look into the pierced column to find any pierced zones. Always look into the LTF trend to find the trend of the current time frame you have selected. Apply the same rules for the remaining reports. Okay, next, weekly supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, daily supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, 125 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, 75 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, 25 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, 15 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, 5 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. But 15 minutes and 5 minutes, maybe we have to regenerate again. We have to scroll the list down because you are seeing only supply zones. So 15 minutes supply demand zone chain. Here you have demand zone. Because the list is small, I am scrolling the list down. So now you can see more demand zones above supply zones. Okay, next 5 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. And all these are all supply zones. So let me scroll the list down so that you get demand zones. Okay, here you have a demand zone nearest. All the below are you have high liquidity zones you are seeing, above also high liquidity supply zones you are seeing. Okay, next we will generate bank nifty supply demand zone chain. That is nothing but nifty bank. So generating monthly supply demand zone chain for bank nifty. Next, weekly supply demand zone chain for bank nifty. Next, daily supply demand zone chain for bank nifty. Next, 125 minutes supply demand zone chain for bank nifty. Next, 75 minutes supply demand zone chain for bank nifty. Next, 25 minutes supply demand zone chain for bank nifty. Next, 15 minutes supply demand zone chain for bank nifty. This is the demand zone. Let me scroll the list so that you can see some more demand zones. Okay, next, 5 minutes supply demand zone chain for bank nifty. Here you have demand zone. Let me scroll the list down so that you can find more demand zones. So this is about bank nifty supply demand zone chain. Next we will generate bullish and bearish trade setups for monthly income, weekly income and daily income trades. First let's start with bullish income trade, monthly income trade, bullish trade setup, monthly income trade, entry time frame daily, entry zone demand zone, bullish or bearish trade setup at daily. I am selecting bullish. And zone achievement, violated opposing zone, minimum odd enhancer score 12. With these two filters applied to the daily demand zone, we got 8 stocks. Currently these 8 stocks are supporting bullish trade setup for monthly income trade, and entry time frame zones are daily demand zones. Out of these 8 daily demand zones, we can find high probability zones based on the zone confluence. Let's verify. First filter in zone confluence, LTF, ITF demand zone confluence. That is a daily demand zone with weekly demand zone confluence. With this filter, out of 8 stocks, we got all 8. That means all these 8 demand zones are part of the, these daily demand zones are part of the weekly demand zone. And weekly trend is up in all these stocks. If weekly demand zone having weekly EMA confluence, those stocks are even more high probability, because daily zone is part of weekly zone. So in the EMA confluence, weekly time frame, I am setting the filter weekly demand zone having weekly EMA confluence. We got 3 stocks. So these 3 stocks are even more high probability trade setup weekly demand zones. Okay, next let us add the filter LTF, ITF, HTF demand zone confluence, all 3. Removing EMA filter. So in the demand zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First one is already enabled. Next, daily with monthly zone confluence. Next, weekly with monthly demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, demand zone confluence filters, we got 4 stocks. So these daily demand zones are part of the weekly demand zone, both together part of the monthly demand zone. Monthly trend is up in first 3 stocks. If any of these first 3 stocks are having a monthly demand zone with monthly EMA confluence, they are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Let us verify. In the EMA confluence, monthly time frame, monthly demand zone having monthly EMA confluence, we got 1 stock. So because the trend is uptrend, this is even more high probability trade setup supported zone, this daily demand zone. So this is about bullish trade setup for monthly income trade. Next, bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. Entry time frame daily, entry zone supply zone, bullish or bearish trade setup at daily time frame. I am selecting bearish. And zone achievement violated opposing zone, minimum odd and enhanced score 12. Both filters are applied to daily supply zone. Now let's filter the stocks. We got 3 stocks. In these 3 stocks, these daily supply zones are supporting bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. The entry zones are daily supply zones. Out of these 3 daily supply zones, let us identify high probability setup zones based on the zone confluence. So first filter is a LTF and ITF supply zone confluence, that is a daily and weekly supply zone confluence. With this filter, out of the 3 stocks, we got all the 3 stocks. In all these 3 stocks, these daily supply zones are part of the weekly supply zone, and weekly trend is down in all the 3 stocks. If any of these weekly supply zones are having weekly EMA confluence, they are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Let's verify. EMA confluence, weekly time frame, weekly supply zone having weekly EMA confluence. We got 2 stocks. So both these weekly supply zones are even more high probability trade setup supported daily supply zones. Okay, next let us look for LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence. Removing EMA filter. In the supply zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First filter is already enabled, daily with weekly. Second filter, daily with monthly supply zone confluence. And the third filter is weekly supply zone with monthly supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we did not get any stocks. Okay, this is about bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. Next, bullish trade setup for weekly income trade. Entry time frame 75 minutes. Entry zone demand zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at 75 minutes time frame, I am selecting bullish. And the 75 minutes demand zones should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 75 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0. Maximum value 0. That means pierced count is 0. Pierced count 0 means zone is not pierced. Zone achievement violated opposing zone. Minimum odd and enhanced score 12. All 3 filters are applied to 75 minutes demand zone. We got 5 stocks. All these 575 minutes demand zones are supporting bullish trade setup for weekly income trade, and entry time frame is 75 minutes demand zones. Out of these 575 minutes demand zone, there could be some high probability setup supported demand zones might be available. Let us filter them based on the zone confluence. Already some are high liquidity zones. We can further filter based on the zone confluence. So first filter is LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. That is 75 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone confluence. We enable the filter. Now all 5 stocks are filtered. That means in all these 5 stocks, these 75 minutes demand zones are part of the daily demand zone. And daily trend is up in all these stocks. If daily demand zone is having daily EMA confluence, because 75 minutes demand zone is part of the daily demand zone, there could be even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. So let's add that filter, EMA confluence and daily time frame, because 75 minute zone is part of the daily zone. That's why we are setting daily demand zone having daily EMA confluence. With this filter, we got 3 stocks. So these 3 are even more high probability trade setup 75 minutes demand zones. So this is about LTF, ITF based weekly income trades. Next, LTF, ITF, HTF zone based filter let us add. We have to remove ITF EMA filter. Now we should focus on HTF filters. So in the demand zone confluence, 3 filters you have to add. First filter is already set. Second filter 75 minutes demand zone with weekly demand zone confluence. third filter, daily demand zone with weekly demand zone confluence. With all the three filters, LTF, ITF, HTF, demand zone confluence, we got 3 stocks. In all these 3 stocks, these 75 minutes demand zones are part of the daily demand zone, both together part of the weekly demand zone. And the weekly trend is up in the second and third stock. If they are having weekly EMA confluence, they are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. So let's add that EMA filter on weekly time frame. Weekly demand zone having weekly EMA confluence filter is enabled. With this filter, we got second stock. First one is sideways. You can ignore it, because when you set EMA filter on the time frame, the trend should not be sideways. So Bharti Airtel is even more high probability trade setup supported stock. That's why it is even already tested for. Of course, AU Bank is also high probability because it is having LTF, ITF, HTF zone confluence, and also it is high liquidity zone. Only thing is EMA trend is not a uptrend, HTF trend. Okay, this is about bullish trade setup for weekly income trade. Next, bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. Entry time frame is 75 minutes. Entry zone is supply zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at 75 minutes, I am selecting bearish. And 75 minute supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count, at 75 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0, zone achievement VOZ. Odd enhancer score 12, all 3 filters applied to 75 minute supply zone. We got 9 stocks. So these 9 stocks are currently supporting bearish trade setup for weekly income trade, and entry time frame zones are 75 minute supply zones. Out of these 9 75 minute supply zones, some are already having high probability based on high liquidity zones. Apart from that, we can also add one more high probability parameter, zone confluence. So in zone confluence, we have 2 filters. First one is LTF and ITF supply zone confluence. That is 75 minute supply zone with daily supply zone confluence. So I am enabling that filter. So with this filter, out of 9 stocks, we got 8 stocks. In these 8 stocks, these 75 minute supply zones are part of the daily supply zone. And the daily trend is down in all these stocks, ITF trend. Because 75 minute supply zone is part of the daily supply zone and also trend is down, let us look for a daily supply zone having daily EMA confluence. That way we can identify even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence at a daily time frame, because 75 minute supply zone is part of the daily supply zone. That's why we are looking for daily supply zone having daily EMA confluence. Let's filter. We got 5 stocks. So these 5 daily 75 minute supply zones are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. That's why all these zones are tested already, except a couple of stocks. Some are supported multiple times testing. Okay, this is about LTF, ITF supply zone confluence. Next, LTF, ITF and HTF supply zone confluence. Let us filter. Removing ITF EMA filter, we have to use HTF filters. So in the supply zone confluence, we should set 3 filters. First filter is already enabled, 75 with daily. Second filter, 75 minute supply zone with weekly supply zone confluence. Next, third filter, daily supply zone with weekly supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence, we got 3 stocks. In all these 3 stocks, these 75 minute supply zones are part of the daily supply zone. Both together again part of the weekly supply zone. And weekly trend is down in second and third stocks. In these 2 stocks, if weekly supply zone is having weekly EMA confluence, they are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Let us verify. In the EMA confluence, weekly time frame, weekly supply zone having weekly EMA confluence filter is enabled. Both the stocks are filtered, having downtrend, the HTF trend. So these two are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Maybe that is the reason why the first one is already tested 2 times. Okay. Next, let us look for this is bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. Next, daily income trade, bullish trade setup, entry time frame 15 minutes, entry zone, demand zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at 15 minutes time frame, I am selecting bullish, and 15 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count parameter at 15 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. Zone achievement violated opposing zone, minimum odd enhancer score 12. All 3 filters are applied to 15 minutes demand zone. Let's filter. We got 10 stocks. So these 10 stocks are currently supporting bullish trade setup for daily income trade, and entry time frame zones are 15 minutes demand zones. Out of these 10-15 minutes demand zones, some are already high probability based on high liquidity zones. We can further filter them based on the another high probability parameter, zone confluence. Zone confluence, we have 2 filters. First filter is LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. So let's filter based on that. That is 15 minutes and 75 minutes demand zone confluence, LTF, ITF for daily income trade. So I enabled the filter. With this filter, we got only 5 stocks. In these 5 stocks, these 15 minutes demand zones are part of the 75 minutes demand zone. And 75 minutes trend is up in all these stocks. Let's verify. Any of these 75 minutes demand zones are having daily EMA confluence. If anything is filtered, they are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. So in the EMA confluence at 75 minutes time frame, I am checking 75 minutes demand zone having daily EMA confluence. With this filter, we got 1 stock. So this is even more high probability trade setup supported demand zone. Okay, next, let us look for LTF, ITF, HTF demand zone confluence. I am removing this ITF filter. So we have to focus on HTF filters. So in the demand zone confluence, we should set 3 filters. First filter, LTF, ITF filter is already enabled. This is the one. Second filter is 15 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone confluence. Third filter, 75 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone confluence. With all the 3 LTF, ITF, HTF demand zone confluence filters, we got 2 stocks. In both these stocks, these 15 minutes demand zones are part of the 75 minutes demand zone, both together again part of the daily demand zone. But the daily trend is sideways, so you can't, no need to check for EMA confluence because it does not give any extra advantage. Sideways HTF trend. Okay, this is about bullish trade setup for daily income trade. Next, bearish trade setup for daily income trade. Entry time frame 15 minutes, entry zone supply zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at 15 minutes time frame, I am selecting bearish. The 15 minute supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count parameter at 15 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. Zone achievement VOZ, minimum odd enhancer score is 12. All 3 filters are applied to 15 minute supply zone. Now let's filter the stocks. We got 12 stocks. And these 12 stocks are supporting bearish trade setup for daily income trade. And entry time frame zones are 15 minutes supply zones. All these are all 15 minute supply zones. And out of these 12 15 minute supply zones, some are already high liquidity zones. We can further filter by adding one more high probability parameter, zone confluence, supply zone confluence. So in that first filter is LTF and ITF supply zone confluence. Let us add that filter. In the EMA confluence, not EMA, sorry, in the supply zone confluence, LTF and ITF supply zone, that is nothing but 15 minute supply zone with 75 minute supply zone confluence. 15 minutes is LTF, 75 minutes is ITF in daily income trade. So in bearish trade setup, we are using supply zones. So we enable this filter. With this filter, out of 12 stocks, we got 11 stocks are filtered. That means in all these 11 stocks, these 15 minute supply zones are part of the 75 minute supply zone. And 75 minutes trend is down in all these stocks, ITF trend. Because 75 minutes trend is down, and if any of these 75 minute supply zones are having daily EMA confluence, they are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Let's verify out of these 11, how many are having daily EMA confluence for the 75 minutes supply zone. So I'm adding the filter 75 minute supply zone having daily EMA confluence. So out of 11, 3 stocks are filtered. These 3 are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. So that's why one of these stocks is already tested. Okay. Next filter is LTF, ITF and HTF supply zone confluence. Now I am removing this ITF EMA filter. We should focus on HTF filters. So in the supply zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First filter is already enabled, that is LTF, ITF filter. Next LTF, HTF filter is 15 minute supply zone with daily supply zone confluence. Next ITF, HTF filter is 75 minute supply zone with daily supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence, we got 5 stocks. In these 5 stocks, these 15 minute supply zones are part of the 75 minute supply zone, both together again part of the daily supply zone. And daily trend is down only in second and third stocks. If any of these 2 stocks are having daily EMA confluence, they are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence at a daily time frame, daily supply zone having daily EMA confluence. And the daily trend sideways I want to filter, that's why I am selecting downtrend. It is a bearish trade setup. We got 1 stock. So this is even more high probability trade setup supported supply zone. 15 minute supply zone. So this is about bearish trade setup for daily income trade. And in the final report, let us generate stop buffers based on daily ATR. So first 17 in this list are indices, remaining all are equity stocks. I am scrolling the list down. I will be giving you few seconds time when I am scrolling between the pages. Any of the stock you want to refer, please pause the video. After that you can proceed further. Okay, I am scrolling the list down. So this is the end of the report. Hope this information will be useful to you for your further study and analysis. Let's all meet again in our next video.